You're not the hero, you're the guide. You see, every conversation you have with a donor needs to bring the level of interaction with that person to a whole new level of understanding and awareness. Welcome to the Funding Your Future podcast. This podcast is for nonprofit donor officers enabling to have a deeper relationship with the individuals they serve so more revenues come into the organization. Hi, my name is Dr. Randy Dirks, and I've been a fundraising executive for 27 years. And I want to bring to you lessons that I've learned that can add value to your personal life. So you're not the hero, you're the guide. And you see, major gift officers can often evaluate themselves based upon the number of visits they had, the number of proposals they have written. And well, that's valuable. That's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the way trust is built between a individual, a donor, and the executive of the organization or the major gift officer. Gil Perry is a well-known fundraising consultant, and she makes the point that activity is not the same as outcomes. So it doesn't matter the number of things you're doing. It's really what goal has been accomplished. And it's critical for the major gift officer always to have what is the goal of this connection I'm having with a donor. Of course, it is significant to raise revenue, but that's not the main thing. Developing relationships with the donor is the critical factor. And the major gift officer needs to come to a place of understanding, what am I learning about that donor? What am I learning about his life, about her life, about their life? In many ways, a major gift officer is like a pastor who comes into a situation and simply wants to gain awareness, gain understanding. Who is that person? What are they facing? What is important to them? I want to tell you a story. It's about a couple that I know in our organization and our nonprofit that have been donors. Their names are Ben and Rachel. I got to know Ben and Rachel about 10 years ago. And as I interacted with Ben, I found out that he had been a carpenter, actually putting in sheetrock in homes. He had a rusty pickup truck, and he had his sheetrock in the back of the truck, and that's how he started. Now his company builds 300 homes a year. So he's gone from a rusty pickup truck to this major home construction business. But as I got to know Ben and Rachel more, I found out that they had a son, their eldest son, eldest of four, and his life went off the rails. Major problems in the home, difficulty, conflict. There was drug use. There was mistrust in the family. And it came to the point that Ben and Rachel needed to remove that eldest son out of the home situation and actually put him in a program in another state. So every time I meet with Ben and Rachel and talk with them, I find out what is happening to Reese, the oldest son. What's going on in his life? How are the parents responding to him? And I've discovered over the last several years that Reese is back at home. He's actually become involved with the company as a common laborer. And so that's a part of the donor relationship that I'm engaged in. And as I get to know about Ben and Rachel, about their family, about their children, a level of trust is built in the relationship. So Perry states, it's not about having visits, it's about having the right visit. And the right visit comes down to things like this. Am I finding the donor is becoming engaged in the conversation? What's the level of questions that are being asked? Am I discovering things about the donor's values and about their passions? Are they asking me questions? What's that level of interaction in the relationship? Those are the most important things. So the emphasis is on the quality of the relationship, not the quantity. What we do at our nonprofit organization at the end of every week, each person, the president, a major gift officer, and myself, we simply count the number of relationships where the needle moved in the discussion. This is what I mean. It's where we learn something about that person, about their values, about their passions. And we began to see more the connection between that donor's values and passion and the mission of our organization. That's why I say, how, to what degree was the needle moved in the conversation? You see, gifts that transform an organization are ones that go beyond simply a transaction and become truly transformational because the donor has found out that their values, their passions, what's important to them can be fulfilled through the mission of that organization. Well, in closing, let me tell you another story. It's a story about Wendy. The first gift from her family foundation was $150,000, which was significant and large in itself, but it took several years to get to that point. When the president and I met with Wendy to give a report, we did that about how the $150,000 was used, what was accomplished in the organization. It was a gift more, we would say, for our general fund, our operations, and we're a university, so it also was to help students in their tuition. At the end of the visit, I asked a very simple question to Wendy. I said something like this: Wendy, could you tell us more about what is really deep on your heart, in the heart of your family, as to what you want to accomplish through your generosity? Wendy went on to talk about how the family's foundation, sort of a main goal, was to see more churches planted among people who had little to no access to hear about Christianity. So we found out that value, that passion. So I said to Wendy, well, Wendy, could we present another proposal to your family that would highlight that particular passion that the family has of seeing more churches planted around the world? And Wendy said, yes, you could. So we presented a $250,000 proposal focusing exactly on the interest that Wendy and her family had. So the last gift was 150,000. Now we're asking for 250,000, another $100,000 more. Guess what? When we received the check from the family foundation, it was for $300,000. We asked for 250,000, they gave 300,000. You see, we uncovered that value and that passion. And in essence, we became like the bridge between what the donor was really interested, what they saw as being significant through their generosity, and the mission of our organization. We brought the two together. So, your goal this week is not to be the hero at all. Your goal is to be the bridge and to see the donor as the hero and find ways, one step at a time, where you can build more trust with that individual. And that is the most significant thing you can do. Well, I want to invite you to take a free 60-minute audit of your organization. And what we'll do is we'll look at what's working well, what maybe needs to improve so more revenues can be generated for your organization. So we'll have a dialogue, we'll have a discussion on these areas, and then we'll come up together with a plan that you can move forward, a very practical plan over the next several months to see, in fact, more revenues come to your organization. So I simply invite you to send your email to me. And then by doing that, we'll make an appointment where we can meet together. My goal is to help you find opportunities to see more significant revenue raised because donors are more engaged with your mission. Thanks. Have a great week.